Say something that might seem uncomfortable at first, but you don't need to love yourself to become better. If you ever thought, once I feel confident, I'll change, or once I like myself more, I'll start being different, I'll show up differently, then this video is for you. Hi, my name is Dee. I'm in a season of becoming, not perfect, just honest and trying to be true to myself. I'm building this space for women who want to grow without pretending they have everything figured out, because that's exactly who I am. And I want to talk about something that actually helped me move forward when self-love felt very far away. So we're going to talk about the myth of self-love. Online, we're told all the time that self-love comes first. Online we're told that self-love comes first, that you have to feel good about yourself before you do anything different. And the truth is, in real life, that usually looks like you don't feel good, you don't like how you look, so you don't go to the gym. You feel insecure, you avoid dating, and then or if you do date, you set very loose boundaries or no boundaries at all, and you feel disappointed in yourself, so you stay stuck. And I know a lot of women can relate to that. I used to relate to that. We tell ourselves this narrative of, I'll change once I love myself. But the days keep passing. The days keep adding up. It's 2026 now. Waiting to love yourself can quietly become an excuse to not move and stay in the same place as you were last year. So here's what helped me. I stopped asking myself if I loved myself and changed the question to, do I respect myself? And what does that look like? Because respect doesn't need an emotion, it needs action. For example, going for a walk, even if it's for 10 minutes, when you feel heavy and unmotivated. Drinking water before coffee, because you all know that that is better for your digestive system. That acidic coffee should not be hitting your stomach first thing in the morning, but I'm very guilty of that. I'm trying to change. Leaving a situation earlier than you wanted to because it didn't feel right. Not staying in that relationship you know isn't serving you. That's an example of respect coming before love. You might not feel amazing about yourself, but you can still choose what supports you. So you might not feel amazing about yourself, but you can still choose what supports you. And I'm here to remind you about that, because respect comes before love. So now what? What do we do? You need to understand that action changes how you see yourself. And this is where things start to lift. Every time you show up for yourself, even if it's in a small way, you're collecting evidence. Let me explain. You go on a walk today. You start seeing yourself as someone who shows up. You say no once to something that doesn't serve you. You start trusting your own boundaries. You follow through on one promise. You stop feeling unreliable. This isn't about motivation. It's about changing your identity. So when you flip your identity from who you have been in the past to who you want to be, that's where real change starts. And you start putting some action and momentum towards your future self. You don't believe in yourself first. You prove yourself first. And how do you do that? By keeping small promises to yourself, by adding up all those small wins. And that's why I said, pick one non-negotiable that you can do every day, even on your worst days. That one non-negotiable, whether it's going for a walk for 10 minutes, whether it's praying every morning for 10 minutes, whether it's journaling, meditating, whatever it is, that one non-negotiable is like a small promise that when you keep doing it, you start building your own self-trust. And action changes how you see yourself. Now we're going to talk about self-talk and how we talk to ourselves. So there's a thing called neutral self-talk. Not all this positive self-talk fluff, because honestly, sometimes that can get annoying. As true as it is and as motivational as it can be, sometimes just like you're hearing the same thing over and over again, and it's just the words lose its meaning. So now, what does neutral self-talk look like? You don't need to wake up and tell yourself that, oh, I'm amazing, I'm the most amazing person in the world. And you definitely don't need to tear yourself apart. Neutral sounds like this. I didn't do everything today, but I did something. I showed up here. I'm learning how to be consistent. Not that you're perfect, but I'm learning how to be consistent. Every day, I am doing something that is progressing me towards who I want to become. In real life, neutrality keeps you moving. Harshness makes you quit. And that's why we don't do negative self-talk over here. And it's so tough because I used to be such a sarcastic girl, and I still am a little bit, and it'd be funny, but it really doesn't serve you. It honestly is more of a disservice talking to yourself in negative manners like that, as opposed to a positive one. Talking to yourself more positively is much better. I would rather you talk to yourself positively than negatively. But right now we're talking about neutral self-talk, because you can still be realistic and progress yourself without being delulu. You get me? In other words, growth, it needs honesty, not hype. You need to be honest about what you're doing. Track your wins, even if they're small ones. Track what you didn't do that you want to improve on. Growth needs honesty, and that looks like momentum building every single day. Now we're going to talk about proof over feelings. Now, D, what does that mean? Some days you don't feel confident, and that's just a fact. Some days you won't like yourself at all. Some days you'll be like, why the fuck do I look like that? Why did I do that? And, those days still count. You still need to show up in some way. You can still go to the gym even when you feel awkward. You can still choose better food for yourself even when you feel discouraged. But you still don't need to stop everything just because you're not feeling how you want to be. Like, growth takes time. When you plant a seed, you water it, you don't see it sprout right away. You need consistent action, that sunlight, that watering, that food, that nourishment. It needs that consistent action. Even on days we don't feel like watering it, it needs it so that it can grow. You need to water yourself consistently because your growth depends on it. This is how trust is built. In other words, not on your best days, but on your average ones. Because you can start off watching this video and you'll feel so motivated, like, yeah, I'm gonna hit the gym, yeah, I'm gonna be on my shit, I'm gonna be on my grind, blah, blah, blah. But no, like, you don't need to feel ready, honestly, to change yourself. You can just say, you know what, this is what I gotta do, this is what we do now, and that's what you do now. Even if you do something, make it small at first. Give yourself 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It still adds up. It's more than you were doing last year. So, what's all this to say? If you're waiting to love yourself before you allow yourself to change, you need to stop waiting. You're allowed to become better while you're still unsure. You're allowed to respect yourself before you feel proud of yourself. Take one small action today. That future you will recognize. Love doesn't come first. It meets you along the way. If this spoke to you, stay here because we're becoming better together. Every day, try your best to take one actionable step to become better. Because the truth is, self-love is tough. But when you accept yourself and accept that, you are in a season of becoming, it's not too far. Self-love is not too far. Don't tear yourself down before you even give yourself a chance to see what you can become. The same way you can love your best friend, even in her own imperfections, your partner in their own imperfections. Guess what? It's because you accepted them for who they were and their flaws and still chose to love them. That is what self-love looks like. Acceptance and still choosing to love despite not being perfect. Allow yourself to continue your season of becoming. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Have a lovely day.